Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and yes, I'm back. My health, basically. This is the reason that I haven't been making videos for about 6 months now. My health's been pretty bad, to be honest. Ups and downs, ups and downs. I hit a huge crash where I basically couldn't do very much for a couple of months. I was really bad. Then I've started getting a little bit better and thought, oh, I'm over this, I can crack back on, did too much and set myself right back to where I really couldn't do very much again. Unfortunately, it's one of the pitfalls of being self-employed and not having like an infrastructure there to fall back on. There's only me, there's only like what I do to bring money in. Not that I need masses of money. I'm not into fast cars and all this modern rubbish, so I don't need a massive amount of money. My properties are paid for, so it's not like I've got mortgages and things like that to worry about. It's just day-to-day, everyday kind of expenses. But like I said, when you work like I work, and jobs come in, you have to kind of take what's what the job is. I do all kinds of very weird and wonderful and strange projects for people, and design things for people and stuff. But yeah, basically I was doing too much and my body said, that's it, no more, I'm shutting you down. And it did. I have actually tried doing some videos, tried to build back up to it, but I've had a lot of trouble trying to get the motivation to sit down and actually get things done. But I thought I must get something out online, must get back into making videos and things like that. So what I thought I'd do in this video, although I've not really been making projects or doing much of anything on that side, eBay is a horrible drug. It is severely addictive, and I have picked the odd bit up which I thought I could use in a project coming up, or something that took my fancy, and when I had a little bit of spare cash, I've bought the odd bit. And I've also I've actually been to 2 car boot sales this year. That's it. That's how pathetic the British summer has been. I've been to Chelford a couple of times a few weeks ago, and I actually went today. And I have picked up a couple of little bits at Chelford. So what I thought I'd do in this video is we can have a look at some of the little bits that I've picked up, and possibly go into a few projects I've got in mind and things, how things have been working with other projects and stuff, which I kind of literally put everything on the back burner. So you can see I've got a big pile of stuff here, and I've got some more stuff behind the camera that I couldn't fit over here, and there's all sorts of stuff in the background which, like I said, I've got people have given me, and I've picked up and stuff like that, which we mightn't go through all in this video, but like I said, it's there. I've got all sorts of interesting stuff to play with. So anyway, I'll get the camera set back up on the bench, and we will have a look at some of the stuff that I've picked up. I mean, this isn't like a repair video or anything like that. It's just let's see what I've got and what you might have coming up in upcoming videos and stuff like that. And like I said, there's projects that I was working on which I've put on the back burner, which I'll be dragging back out. Lost a load of hair, and that's probably through trying to get that damn apricot to work. Finally figured out, I think, what the issue with that apricot is. Again, I did a load of work on it, got it to a really nice point, had a setback with it, did something wrong, wiped the hard drive, which had just set everything really nicely up, and because I was feeling so unwell at the time, I just literally put the whole thing back together and stuck it back on the shelf. So like I said, that'll have to be dug back out and played with again. So anyway, let me reset the camera and we'll be back in a sec. Right, let's start off with this little pile here. Now these are all things that I've got on eBay. One is actually something which I bought and then realised I had one, so it's now superfluous. I don't need it, but it was cheap enough that I've got it, and I'll probably use it for something else in the future. But first, we've got this. Now this I have opened for the simple reason that I wasn't sure what it was, and I thought it was something else. I opened it and then realised it wasn't what I was expecting. But this is something I bought, you know, for the channel for projects and things. What we've got here, if you remember a little while back, I got an old Texas Instruments TI-99 4A back up and running. Problem with that computer is getting software off and on it, because most software for the TI-99 4A was on cartridge, and those cartridges are really, really expensive nowadays. But what I picked up was this. Now what that is a cartridge emulator for the TI-99 4A. These were, I think you can still get them online. I don't think they look quite the same as this one. Basically they were an open source project. Now this one I bought off eBay. I bought it very cheap. I think I paid like 10 quid for it, because it's faulty. I would have probably bought one at full price, to be honest, because I want to play with my TI-99. But they're about 30 odd quid, 40 quid or something like that, and like I said, money is not abundant, and you know, I'm like, I don't like spending it if I don't have to. But 10 quid, and I know what the fault with it is. Basically the compact, and it also came with a compact flash card which is full of TI-99 ROM images, so at least I have something. I don't have to start hunting the internet to download a load of TI-99 ROM images. I've got apparently quite a lot already on that SD card. Actually, what I'll have to do is put that in a laptop and then see if I can read it in a laptop. But no, apparently all that's wrong with this is that the SD card slot there is faulty, as in when you put the card in it won't latch and it's coming off the board like that. I was hoping actually I could just solder it back and it would work, but no, the actual slot itself is faulty. The little latching mechanism inside it must have broken. So I'm hoping all I'll have to do, I can either see if I can find one of those boards and see if they're still available. If not, I'll have to take that off and just fit a new SD slot to that board, and that should be up and running again, and we can mess about with some TI-99 4A software. So yeah, that was the first thing I picked up a little while back, a couple of months back. Like I said, it was a tenner, so even if I can't get it working, like I said, I've not really lost that much money, but I'm pretty sure I should be able to get that working. I'll put that away for now. And let's get to some of the things that I picked up on eBay, which I haven't even opened yet. Now, let's see where we can get into this. Get a little knife or something. Oh, I'll probably do it. Now this, like I say, I don't need it at the moment because I've actually found a couple when I was looking for something else. But I wanted another ISA SCSI card because I was seeming to be having problems with the one that I was using in the Apricot. Like I said, and then I found a really nice Adaptec one in the bottom of a drawer. So I put that in the Apricot. But what I bought, I think I paid 15 quid for this, so it was cheap for what it is. What we have got, yeah, I tell you what, the chaps packed it really nicely. In fact, this and the other item both came from the same eBay seller, and I've bought from before, and you know, I trust that seller. So this is well, I think I bought this a few months ago, so it's well out of my chance of returning it. But like I say, I trust that eBay seller anyway. It was sold as fully working and tested. But we've got a brand new, oh dear me, let's see if we can get in there. There we go, finally we're in. Brand new inbox. It's a Sun SCSI and floppy disk controller card, but brand new floppy drive, floppy cable, still sealed in bag, never opened. Obviously this has been opened because, like I say, it was sold as tested and working. But yeah, we've got a SCSI card, like I said, complete with floppy drive connector on it. Still with its Decazent bag in there. So that will come in handy in another build, in an upcoming build, or it will definitely go find a use in a computer. I have a computer in mind actually I might use that in. So we pick that up. Put that out of harm's way. Like I said, all these things you will be seeing again, so I'm just doing a really quick little run through everything that I've just got to hand, really. In fact, there is one other thing that I bought which I might see if I can find before the end of this video and show you. Because it was another one where I got fairly cheap, and it's something I've been looking for a while. But this, again, I bought this at a reasonable price. I wouldn't say this was cheap considering it's faulty, but vintage PC hardware, especially from the likes of eBay, has now got ridiculously expensive, to the point where unless I find something that's, I think, quite reasonable, I'm not really buying all that much now. What we have here is we have, well, I think you can guess already what it actually is. We've got a motherboard. Let's open it up and we can have a quick, where's my anti-static strap? Because this is faulty, but it is only a little bit faulty and I don't want to make it any worse, so got the anti-static strap on before we open this. In fact, it says right on the thing what's wrong with it, but we've got a 286 motherboard with an AMD 286 16 megahertz CPU. It has had the dreaded battery leak, and I think pretty much due to the dreaded battery leak we have keyboard issues. So basically this motherboard will power up. This is the first time I've actually seen it in the flesh. It's actually not bad. I might even get away with just replacing the DIMM plug there, but essentially, like I said, it will boot up to BIOS, you plug a keyboard in and all you get is a keyboard error. So we've got trace damage somewhere in this part of the board. Obviously that's your keyboard controller there. I can see a little bit of green around there where the battery's been removed. I don't think this chap does a lot of you know, repair attempts on his stuff. He literally fires them up if they work, he sells them as working. If they don't, he sells them with whatever the fault it is. We've got a little bit of corrosion creeping down there. There's a tiny little bit just in the edges of the slots there, but it's literally on this side's all perfect. It's just like on the last little bit there. So I think with a little bit of cleaning and a little bit of neutralisation, we might be able to get that all good. And obviously we've got an issue around here. It's probably a broken trace, damaged pin in there, something like that, which is actually stopping it recognising the keyboard. Few nice features about this. It takes SIP memory there, or it takes standard DRAMs. So we can have, you know, I think the idea is you can have a meg on board in DRAM there. You can have up to 4 meg in SIP RAM there. So technically I think you could have up to like 5 megabytes on this main board, which is more than enough you'll ever need for a 286. My idea is if I can get this up and running and it's nice and stable, I would like to use it to build my like ultimate 286 build. Like the best 286 that you could have had back when like this was current, which is probably around about 1990 or thereabouts. It is, like I say, a slightly later model 286 board. It's really nice and compact, so case choice shouldn't be an issue. You could put this in most cases, although the case I am considering for this is a fairly big one, to be honest, but it'll have to be for the, again, for the hard drive that I'm planning to possibly use in this build, if indeed I can get that working. So anyway, that is oh, in fact, let's just see if I can find the other thing that I picked up on eBay. I'll put that away for the moment, and let me just have a quick see. I think it might be behind me. Move a few bits and bobs from around here. Aha! I can take that off, that's cool. Right, yeah. So this is the last thing that I picked up recently, well, within the last 6 months recently, on eBay. And what we have got here is we've got an iOmega zip drive. This is a zip drive 100, but I already have an iOmega zip drive. The thing is, the one that I've got is a parallel port one. This one is the SCSI version, which is what I really wanted, because these are great for connecting up to old Apple Macintoshes and allowing you basically to use this as a hard drive with your old Apple Mac. I have got a Mac Plus actually up there on my shelf, which I really want to get to and get up and running at some point. I do have an external hard drive I could use with it, but it would also be really nice to be able to transfer software easily between my Mac Classic, which is all up and running and in fair shape. Does need the analog board going through, but basically the computer works, you know, fairly decently. And the Mac Plus, which I don't think has been switched on since the late 90s. I remember buying that from a car boot sale in the very late 90s. Switching it on, I can't even remember. I think I got the boot, you know, the Happy Mac kind of thing up, asking you to insert a boot disk. Didn't have any software for it. Realised it didn't actually have an internal hard drive or anything like that, and it got stuck in a cupboard. Fortunately, it didn't get thrown away, and I do still have it. So it would be handy, you know, be able to transfer software between the different systems and things like that. This was sold as untested, as in the chap that had it had used it probably about 10 years before, thrown it in a drawer, lost the power supply for it, rediscovered it and banged it on eBay as sold as seen. He did actually say to me, because he actually offered to cancel the sale. He said when he was packing it up, the little plastic window that should be in there dropped out. Now he sent it nicely packed in a piece of foam, so that will need fixing back in. If it doesn't work, I do have the parallel port version, which definitely does work. So there may be a chance that I can make a good SCSI unit using the mechanism out of that one, if indeed that has done any damage inside, or indeed it doesn't work. Providing the actual SCSI electronics work in it and the actual mechanisms are the same, I can at least build one good SCSI one out of the two. Other nice thing that came with it are the original install discs, Macintosh version and DOS Windows version. I know you can get these on like archive.org and places like that, but it is really nice to see the absolute originals like that, and I'm hoping with this being stored in a desk drawer and everything, these discs are hopefully still in good usable condition. Right, so that's all of the eBay bits that I've picked up. Let's get on to what I picked up at Chelford. Now, you can probably just see these just off on off shot there. I picked these both up from the same seller. This is the first item I got, which is quite interesting. I was showing this Steve earlier on today. He popped round for a brew, and I was showing him this, and he thought it was quite an interesting little thing. What we've got here, we've got a little mini reel-to-reel tape recorder. Now this thing is what I would describe as pretty horrendous. It was actually pretty much brand new in box. The problem being, I think that box has been spent the last 40-50 years in a very damp, leaky shed. Because although the plastic on it looks absolutely excellent, we look here, all the metalwork is starting to corrode, and it doesn't get much better when we go inside it. In fact, if I can remember how you get inside it, because like I said, it is I think it just pops off the bottom. Yeah, it does. We pop the bottom of it off. We've got bits of corrosion everywhere. I actually thought this one used one motor. It doesn't, it uses two, so this is a super fancy version of this. But what's happened is there's a spring there that should allow that motor to rock backwards and forwards when you control it. The spring is actually rusted away. It's actually rotted off there. So to get this thing up and running, I think what we're going to have to do, apart from find some batteries for it, it uses 4.5 volts, which I think is probably for the motors, and then I think we've got 9 volts there, 12 volts or so, which will be for the electronics, the amplifier and the cassette electronics. So this will be a upcoming can we get it to play video, can we get it to work video. These machines they're made in Japan. They were pretty atrocious. Like I said, they weren't expensive machines. This one looks to be more than it really actually is. Most of these were basically just glorified dictaphones. But I thought it'd be fun to see if we can get it up and running, see just quite how awful it is, see what's on the reels, if there is indeed anything on them. Thing is, I can't just pull them off and put them on one of my reel-to-reel tape recorders and play them, because of the way these machines actually work. You have no capstan on these machines. You literally have the tape being dragged across the head by the reels rotating like that, and you've got those two motors which basically tilt, pivot and rub on the edges of the back of them spool take-ups, the take-up reels there, and that's what drives it. As the tape advances through there, the actual speed of the tape changes. So as that gets smaller and smaller and that gets bigger and bigger, obviously the speed of that increases. Sorry, the speed of that increases, the speed of that decreases, and it actually changes the speed of the actual recording. So if you tried to play this back on another machine, although you'll be able to hear something, the sound will get slower and then faster and faster and faster as it plays through, because they play at a regular speed. So yeah, it's going to be fun to basically see if we can get it fired up and running again. So yeah, we've got that to look forward to play with. Put that back on. And it is in, like I said, really nice condition. It was actually still in its packaging, in its polystyrene with the box around it, but it was in such horrendous condition it pretty much disintegrated as I picked it up. So yeah, we got that, and from exactly the same seller we got that. Now what we've got here, this has been messed with in the past. I think this is someone's restoration well in the past. The handle seems to have been moved around from the front to the back. The handle should be there. Someone's painted it green at some point. It should actually be this like mock kind of crocodile skinny kind of texture and look about it, and mock snake skin, and someone's dollop green paint all over it, which is now coming off. But inside what we have is a little attaché case or vanity case radio. Most of these that you'll find are little valve units. This one isn't. This one, if we look here, Ferranti, so it's got a local, you know, pedigree. I live like 10 miles away from the old Ferranti factory in Oldham. But this is a transistorized one. So this is either very, very late 50s or very, very early 1960s. Let's see if we can just quickly get inside it for you. Some little turn screws on the bottom which you get inside it to access it. And oops, that's the mute button there. If we open it up, if we can get it open, it's also not very well secured. Ah, there we go. We get inside it. Somebody in the past has worked on this, and that is a G-Tech like mini sweeper or something like that battery, and that's what I found inside it. It is flat. I have tested it with a meter. There's no charge left in it, but someone in the not too distant past either had this running or was attempting to get this running on a rechargeable pack like that. So again, it's one that we'll possibly dig into in the future, see if we can get will it play video. I did connect power up to it. I got signs of life out of it, but I won't say it was actually working. So like I said, we can dig into that and see if we can do anything with that. Right, I'll go and get my next purchase, which is actually behind the camera because I didn't have enough room around me in front of the camera to get it in. Oh, what I'm getting out of what I think these, like I said, I got them both from the same seller. The seller wanted initially, I think he wanted £5 for that, and he wanted £4 for that. Or was it £5 for that? It was something around about I think £4 for one, £5 for the other, or something like that. I bargained him down. I chatted it. I got the pair of them for £2.50 each, so a fiver for the two. And yeah, I think that was fair enough for something to have a bit of fun with. To be honest, the transistors in that are probably worth more than the £5 I paid for the lot. So yeah, those are other nice things that can come up on the channel. And we'll go and get the next item that I picked up, and these are the two items I actually picked up today. Ooh, I won't pause you because you're only they're only here. Ooh, and the first one. Ooh. Yeah. Oops. Try and get back behind the camera. Let's see if we can zoom that out. Oh no. We're on full maximum zoom out. But we've got, this is an LG Flattron. You know, it won't go up or down, that's pretty set how it is. Let me see if we can zoom you up a little bit so you can see the top of it. But this is an LG Flattron, I think it's a 17-inch flat panel monitor. I don't know why that's gone all out of focus. Come on, focus. Let's see if we can get you to focus back in a bit. I don't know why that's not liking focusing on that. Let me try and... Ah, it lights up. I don't know why it doesn't like it when I point it up so you can see the LG Flattron on the top there, but yeah, if I hold my finger there it'll focus on it. But yeah, anyway, like I said, LG Flattron LCD monitor. I'm guessing this is from the fairly early 2000s, probably 2004, 2005-ish. And let's see if there's a date on the back of it. Oh, yes we have. It's a little bit earlier than I thought. Manufactured May 2002. So this is an early flat panel display. And the great thing about these is it's an LCD screen, so I can film it if I'm working on a system with a VJ input. And obviously we have no issues or anything. It's easy to film a flat panel display. But unlike a lot of the displays I have, this is actually 4:3. So we've got a nice 4:3 aspect ratio. The other really nice thing is it's beige. It's not either some horrendous colour. The only other 4:3 one that I've got, which is a standard monitor, I think that's actually an LG as well, slightly later than this one, and it's like a blue colour. It works brilliantly. I use it with one of my vintage systems, but it does not look really nice and period. Obviously an LCD never will, but it looks more in, this looks more in keeping with, like, say, don't know, a P120 or a 486 or something, would be in a nice beige display like that than some modern, you know, widescreen flat panel display, or even, like I said, that other LG that I've got, which is like in a 4:3 aspect ratio. It's only a 14-inch, but it's like a blue kind of surround to it and everything. It doesn't look quite as period and vintage as this one does. What we'll do, because I haven't tried any of this stuff yet, I've actually got power here. We'll shove power up it and see if it goes bang. It's got your standard just VGA and DVI inputs on it. It also has a mini USB hub built into the back. Only 2 port, but let's see, has that powered up? Let's see if we can get a menu up or something. I don't know where it's actually going to there we go. Yes. Obviously we've got self-diagnosis, no signal because we've not got anything plugged into it. Auto set. It's got plenty of options as well. I don't know whether the menu won't come up until you've actually got some video up it, but I'm pretty sure. Let me see if I can get that to focus. There we go, the focusing finger. That seems to work. Like I said, I'm not actually I'm obviously not going to know it's going to work perfectly until I actually get it all connected up and we try it, but that's good. It means that the screen's not damaged, the backlights are working, so every signs are I've got a good monitor there. These are not getting any easier to find now, especially not in 4:3, especially not, like I said, with a decent looking monitor for a vintage setup. I was really happy to pay, I paid a £5 for it. Like I said, I've looked at these in the past. The prices of these on eBay are now going up and up and up. Obviously, as your vintage collectors realise that they make a really good compromise between vintage and obviously a modern LCD monitor. So yeah, that was what I picked up today. That was £5. And I will go and grab you the other thing that I picked up today. Which I have not seen out in the wild. Not for a price that I would willingly pay anyway for quite some time. I'll put that back down on the floor there because we're going to need the real estate on the bench. And I will go and grab the last thing that I picked up. And this is a beast. Right, okay, here we are. Ooh. There we go. I got a beige box. Ooh, and that's really all I can tell you about it. I've not found a vintage PC, as in vintage as in 80s or 90s, with a 5 1/4 and a 3.5 inch floppy drive for years on a car boot sale. I've grabbed a few laptops, 386, 486 era laptops for cheap, because I don't think people have quite cottoned on to old laptops on car boot sales yet, that they've actually got a bit more of a value than people think. This did come from a house clearance guy I've bought from the car boot sales before. He knows what things are worth. He was telling me actually while I was there, because he clears houses. He got an Ontario Scientific board in a house clearance, and he sold that on eBay for over £400. So like I say, he knows, you know, that these old vintage computers have got a bit of a value. But I did get, you know, I had a bit of a deal with him, and I got this at a, what I would consider a not unrealistic price for what it is. And that's it, what we bought. Well, this is a what's the make now? This is an Opus PC Turbo. As I can say, it's a fairly standard PC from the late 80s, early 90s. I'd say more late 80s than early 90s. What it is, I don't know yet, and we're not going to find out in this video. We're going to do a separate video on open this thing up and having a look what we've got inside it. But I'm going to make some guesses. The fact that we've got a little panel like that with turbo, and it is a proper click in, click out turbo button. 5 1/4, sorry, 3.5 and 5 1/4 inch floppy drives, and something that indicates kind of that it's probably not a 486 or even a 386 maybe, is it has got a side mounted power switch. So I think this is either going to be a Turbo XT or a 286, which, like I said, you don't see very often out in the wild anymore. Dear me. I'm kind of guessing on this is probably a 286. So we've got what you'd say is a non-standard PC power supply, but this was fairly standard of the day, of, like I said, the late 80s rather than 90s, having the power switch on the side there rather than on the front of the system. Got two comms ports, both 25 pin serial, parallel port, bus mouse port, and a VGA card. Now that's what kind of makes me think this is possibly a 286 rather than a Turbo XT, because even into, like, you know, the very late 80s, the Turbo XTs, generally speaking, although you could order them, you know, with VGA, they usually came either with a Hercules card or a CGA/EGA card. A lot of 286s, even up to like 1990, came as the base configuration, usually with a Hercules card and a mono monitor. I know my school friends, his dad's, I think it was an Epson 286. That was that configuration, was a standard Hercules mono video output. Like I said, this has got a VGA, so it's either been upgraded or this is, like I said, a higher end, like a 286 type system. So yeah, we've just got the standard AT power supply. That's the other thing, I do hope it is 286, because at the moment I don't think I've actually got any XT compatible keyboards. I know I was looking for one when I was looking at them original IBM PC XT motherboards that I've got, and I couldn't find the one I've got then. I have got somewhere a original auto switching IBM what's that, an M keyboard. It's one of the quite rare ones that would auto switch AT and XT, but I can't bloody find it. I've got my later Model M keyboard, but that is AT only. Like I said, I cannot find my earlier ATXT switchable one, which is really annoying me actually. So let's hope this is an AT, because we have got AT compatible keyboards. The main board could be absolutely trounced in this. Like I said, if it is a 286, it's very likely it's got a barrel battery somewhere in there. There's a chance that, well, there's a very good chance that's leaked. It may have destroyed the main board in it. We do have that Harris mainboard that I've just shown you, but like I said, I do have another case that I'd possibly planned to put that in. So yeah, that is the other thing that I picked up today at the car boot sale. Now the chap wanted 40 quid for it, which to be fair, nowadays isn't a bad price for one of these. Look at what this type of computer sells for on eBay. People are asking over £40 just for an ATK, you know, an AT style case like this. I didn't actually pay £40 for it. Like I said, I always like to have a bit of a haddle, and he's one of the few actual traders, as in like house clearance guys, that's quite happy to have a bit of a haddle, and I paid 30 quid for it. Which is, like I said, at the moment, because money is not available, not abundant, probably as much as I would be willing to pay for something like this, but it's so long since I've seen one. And it's not like smashed about or anything. We've got a little bit of surface rust on the fan there. Apart from that, it actually looks in fairly good condition. I wasn't too disappointed with that for a price for it. I think this is probably going to be one of the things that I do fairly soon, as at least of a open it up and have a quick look inside it, and possibly seeing about powering it up. I'm not just going to shove an IEC lead up and switch it on. 10 or 15 years ago I'd have done that, because you could still pick these up, you know, at just about every car boot sale you went to for 3 quid, 5 quid, that kind of money. Obviously nowadays you can't, parts are harder to get for them, so we will do a methodical approach on actually seeing if we can get this thing powered back up again. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. Like I said, you'll hopefully be seeing some of this stuff up on the channel sooner rather than later. The only other thing is, hopefully you're going to see this video, because my main editing PC's died. I don't know, you've seen it on the channel a few times. I've got an old Dell dual CPU Xeon. It was an old office, you know, workstation which I've upgraded, and I put a second processor in it, maxed out the RAM in it and everything, and it's an old computer. It's, I think it's from about 2010 or something like that, but it was an absolute beast of a powerhouse when it was new, and it was still perfectly capable of editing videos and things like that. And then I was actually planning on doing a hard drive upgrade, because it's still running on spinning rust hard drives, and I treated myself and I bought a terabyte SSD to go in it as the main drive. I switched the computer off while I was doing something. I switched it back on, and it is just coming up with RAM errors. It won't boot, basically. It posts up with a RAM error. You can get past that by running through the diagnostics or pressing F1 to continue. It tries to boot Windows and just blue screens. So we've obviously got some issues with that computer, and to be honest, with how unwell I've been recently, I've just not had the motivation to look into it and see what's actually wrong with it. It could be something as simple as just a loose RAM module or something like that. So what I'm going to attempt to do is edit this video up now using my i5 laptop. In fact, one of the last videos that I made on the channel was recommissioning this old e-waste i5 laptop I picked up for like 15 quid, which I've been using off and on in the workshop, and I've just been using it while I was feeling very unwell and just lying on the sofa. So I know it works well enough. I just wonder if it's going to be up to the task of editing this video up. So if you see this, then yes, that computer was up to the task of editing the video up. And then, like I said, we can see about as I feel a bit better getting my main editing PC back up and running. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. I hope you enjoyed this little update on how I'm doing and the channel and the bits of junk that I've picked up recently. So I will say thanks for watching and goodbye.